an aircraft balancing between tradition and progress. Filled with cutting-edge solutions and interesting French features, it is one of the leaders in business aviation, symbol of efficiency and luxury. Hello aviators, Sky here, and today we are flying again on the great love of passengers and crews. I present to you the Dassault Falcon 7X and 8X. But before getting acquainted with the masterpiece of the sky, I will introduce you to the masterpieces of the sea, which are collected in World of Warships, available both on PC and consoles. With epic battles on the decks of everything from small boats to battleships and aircraft carriers, or sitting in a port and looking at historical ships in detail. Excellent relaxation when you want to play, but don't have time to dive into virtual worlds. You log in, fight a couple of battles, and leave to make content for aviators. Besides, we have June 6th coming up, the anniversary of the legendary D-Day, the Allied landing in Normandy. On the 80th anniversary of those events, World of Warships gives you the opportunity to take part in epic events and relive one of the turning points of World War II. As you play, you will be able to unlock new ships, special PvE and PvP D-Day missions, new historical commanders, as well as special patches, skins, and customizations. The game includes many bonuses and details describing the landing, especially the participation of the main fleets of that operation, British and American, whose ships made holes in the impregnable Atlantic Wall. When you register using the promo code D-Day80th, you will receive 200 doubloons, 1 million credits, 7 days of premium account time, and, after completing the D-Day missions, a free ship. Take part in the exclusive in-game events, unlock memorable rewards, and remember the people who changed the course of history. Onward! And I return to successors of those events at the end of the 20th century. The history of the new generation begins with its famous ancestor. The Falcon 900 has long been Dassault's flagship, enjoying well-deserved recognition in the industry and actively developing. The current Falcon 900 LX, which seats 14 passengers and flies at 8,800 kilometers, is still a pretty decent business jet. However, this is still the good old 900 from the 1980s, and no matter how you upgrade it, there are things that cannot be changed. Yes, the plane is still decent, but in conditions where peers in the industry are creating brand new and very cool machines, the term decent is almost an insult. In addition, the advantage of competitors was their ultra range, and the Falcon 900 could not fly 10 to 11,000 kilometers. Dassault understood this very well, and were actively involved in creating a new aircraft since the late 1990s. The first seeds of this work sprouted in 2001 at the Paris Air Show, when a new business jet was finally announced. The aircraft had to incorporate all the most advanced solutions and technologies, be more comfortable and economical, and of course fly faster and farther. Interestingly, the price tag for launch customers was stated at $35 million. Now it sounds like a joke, but even then it was much cheaper than its competitors. The prototype made its maiden flight in May of 2005 at Bordeaux-Mérignac Airport. A couple of months later, the aircraft was presented publicly for the first time, again at the Paris Air Show. By that time, it already had a portfolio of orders for 50 units and was given an official name, Dassault Falcon 7X. 3 prototypes flew 1,200 hours in 15 months. In the spring of 2007, the new business jet received EASA and FAA certificates, and in June, the first aircraft was handed over to the customer. Prices by that time had risen considerably. After the start of deliveries, the 7X already cost $41 million. But there were no problems with demand. In 3 years, more than 100 of them were produced. At this point, traditionally, I would begin to describe the aircraft itself. But the problem is that this Falcon is not the 7X, but the 8X. A little about it. The 8X project was announced, not in Paris suddenly, but at the EBAA, European Business Aviation Association exhibition in 2014. The aircraft is very close in design to the basic 7X, but has a number of differences. It has a longer range, updated design elements, it is more spacious due to the lengthening of the fuselage, and more comfortable. Its interior contains solutions from later jets, such as the 6X model. The prototype took off in 2015 and completed certification in 2016. The work was carried out quickly. Now we can move on to the actual description of our main character. Standing before us is the Dassault Falcon 8X. Length 24.46 meters, wingspan 26.29 meters, height 7.94 meters. It is quite a large aircraft, much larger than the Falcon 900 LX. At the same time, within the industry, it is still very compact. Even the Gulfstream G400 and Bombardier Global 5000 are larger, and they are considered small in their lines. One could say that the bigger the better, but compactness can be very useful in terms of flexibility, one of the traditional features of Falcons. The maximum takeoff weight of the 7X is 31.7 tons. The 8X weighs 33.1 tons. Moreover, the empty weight of the 8, 18.5 tons, is only 91 kilograms more than that of the 7X. You can feel Dassault's passion for creating optimal and lightweight designs. The progress is also visible in weight. The 8X is a whopping 11 tons, or half as heavy as the 900 LX. Traditionally for Dassault, the 8X is lighter than its competitors, and very noticeably by 10 tons. Next to the American and Canadian bodybuilders, the Frenchman is slim. The overall layout remains the same: a low swept wing, tricycle landing gear, and 3 engines in the cruciform tail. A classic Dassault trijet, but in a modern design. While the 900 was beautiful but slightly outdated, this one is gorgeous without any reservations. The wing is one of the most complex elements of the plane, which received maximum attention. The aircraft had to maintain the excellent takeoff and landing performance of the 900 model, while becoming faster in high-speed modes. The high-speed wing received a SWIP increased by 5 degrees, a more optimal design and all modern materials integrated. Thanks to this, the flight speed reached Mach 0.9, not the ultimate dream, but nothing to be ashamed of. One time, the Falcon 7X took off from Teterboro Airport in New York and landed in the city of London, 5 hours and 54 minutes later. They burned 4.5 tons more fuel than usual, but 3,000 miles in less than 6 hours. Ordinary planes cover this distance on average in 8 hours. Not bad. The service ceiling of the 7X and 8X models is 51,000 feet, 15,545 meters, as it should be. Meanwhile, other parameters were not sacrificed. The wing is huge. Compared to the 900 model, its span is 4.9 meters greater, and the area has increased from 49 square meters to 70.7 square meters, noticeably. The high-lift devices have been updated, but conceptually remain the same as its predecessor. Ailerons, aerodynamic brakes, and spoilers, 3 sections on each console. Plus, of course, hefty slats and double-slit flaps, 2 sections on each console. Thanks to this, takeoff and landing performance remained excellent. Minimum speed 198 km per hour, 107 knots. Takeoff run 1,792 meters. Landing distance 677 meters. Curiously, the lighter Falcon 900 has a higher minimum speed and landing roll, although it takes off a little easier. The special ability to operate in hot and high airport conditions was also retained. The aircraft were tested in several countries in various conditions, including at the Daocheng Airport in China, located in the mountains at an altitude of 4,400 meters, as high as possible. The main feature of the Falcon 900 compared to its competitors was of course the 3-engine design, which has been the subject of controversy for decades now. And for the new Dassault project, this question has also become relevant. Keep this feature or stop persisting and install 2 engines. As you can see, they chose the former. At the initial stage of the project, Dassault chose between 2 engines, Honeywell FX5 and Pratt & Whitney PW300. The Honeywell was a very promising engine, geared and with excellent economy, but it was just a prototype. In the end, they chose the PW300, a more conservative option originally from the late 1980s. But it is being actively modernized, remains relevant, and more importantly, is proven, reliable, and widespread. In addition, it is already familiar to Dassault. The PW308 version is installed in the twin-engine Falcon 2000. All this together is very important for the trijet concept. It is easy and cheap to maintain. The layout is classic. 2 engines are located on pylons on the sides, the third is installed in the tail, with an air intake located on top of the fuselage, in front of the fin. There is only one thrust reverser, installed behind the central engine. The Falcon 7X received 3 upgraded PW307A engines. The thrust of each reaches 28.48 kilonewtons. Not much, but enough for a trijet. The 8X model was equipped with a trio of PW307D engines, boosted to 29.9 kilonewtons. The Honeywell GTCP36-150 auxiliary power unit is also located in the tail under the central engine, with air intakes at the bottom and exhaust at the top, more or less like the Falcon 900. This power plant, coupled with aerodynamics, excellent weight and a decent fuel supply, gave the required range. The 7X with 8 passengers flies 11,019 kilometers. The 8X with slightly increased fuel capacity flies 11,945 kilometers. It is able to fly from London to Buenos Aires or Singapore. This allowed the aircraft to fit into the class of ultra-long-range business jets, competing with such machines as the Gulfstream G600 and 650 and Bombardier Global Express. Moreover, in this class, one of the bonuses of the trijet design is very clearly demonstrated. In cruising flight, it is more economical than a twin-engine one, and since the cruise duration here is maximum, the advantage only grows. Dassault claims that their aircraft are as much as 15% more economical than their peers. Not so sure about 15% exactly, but it is at least very good. The interior of the 8X model has grown significantly compared to the 900 model. The current requirements for comfort, especially with a longer range, are much higher. Cabin height 1.88 meters, width 2.34 meters. The old and new aircraft are the same here. But the length of the 8X is 13 meters, 3 meters longer than the 900s, and approximately 1.1 meters more than the 7X model, due to the lengthening of the fuselage. The cabin volume grew respectively. 35.8 cubic meters on the 900LX is still not bad, but the 7X has almost 44 cubic meters, and the 8X has as much as 48. However, the compactness of the aircraft is felt. It turns out that the competitors' flagships have larger interiors. It's time to go inside. The hands of Dassault designers were freed up here. They were able to develop about 30 different layouts, and in each, the additional meters were used to the fullest. This becomes clear immediately after entering the plane. The galley is noticeably larger, with a full set of cabinets and equipment, a large countertop, and a full-size sink. It's convenient to work here, and there can be a lot of tasty snacks. The crew lavatory is hidden behind a small door. For flight attendants, there is finally a full-fledged place here. They no longer need to sit in the cockpit, behind the pilots. The cabin has 3 zones. At the front, there are 2 pairs of seats on each side of the aisle, with pull-out tables for each pair. Next is the usual conference zone, a large table with 2 pairs of seats opposite each other. On the other side of the aisle is a huge credenza, and a small cabinet a little further down. The third zone is the sleeping area. It is separated from the main cabin and serves for rest and relaxation of the main passengers. Again, there can be many options, with different selections of seats and sofas. Behind the bedroom is the main lavatory, and here it is noticeably larger than its predecessor, with a full range of conveniences. Here the designers and engineers decided to play extreme. One of the layouts involves not a small lavatory, but an entire bathroom with a vertical shower, which of course is not a unique phenomenon for business aviation, but this is usually practiced on larger aircraft, and even in VIP airliners like the ACJ and BBJ. There is another door here. Behind it is a luggage compartment with a volume of 4 cubic meters. Unlike the cabin, it has not grown much, because in theory there shouldn't be much more luggage. While the 900 is designed for 12 to 14 passengers, the 8X carries 14 to 16. The certificate says as many as 19, like the big boys. But this is more of a number for documents than a widespread practice. Mostly they carry, on average, 8 to 10 people. The Model 7X, by the way, has a slightly larger passenger zone than the 8X. Apparently, operating experience showed that the size of the galley and lavatory was insufficient, and in the new 8X with its additional volumes, priority was given to them. But comfort is not built by volume alone. The cabin has received improved sound insulation, becoming the quietest in the family. All the functionality of the seats and sofas is in place. They can all change configuration, from turning and tilting to turning into beds. Equipment and multimedia are the best there is, from air conditioning and climate control to smart lighting, internet, and individual displays. All this together received the name Sky Lounge because, you know, a design the cost of which is measured in 6 figures can't not have its own name. In such luxury, the selection of materials is not even worth discussing. Everything here is the best. Wood, plastics, metals, leather, fabrics, and the carpet. Amazing. I don't know what's so magical about it, but if there weren't people around, I would lie down straight on the floor. We leave all this passenger beauty behind and rush to the favorite place of any aviation geek, the cockpit. Its general layout is similar to that of the Falcon 900, but the filling is new. The most striking update is of course the glazing. The 900 in this regard was too vintage. There are also huge windows with excellent visibility and an easy way to distinguish planes from each other externally. The control system of the 7X and 8X models is completely new, fly-by-wire. Yes, now there are side sticks here. The Easy, enhanced avionics system was created on the Honeywell Primus Epic platform. It also appeared on the Falcon 900EX and Falcon 2000EX, but the 8X model is equipped with the new generation Easy 4, which includes features such as 3D airport maps, a warning about the danger of running off the runway, and so on. All this beauty can be seen on 4 large multi-function displays. Electronic flight bags with the new Falcon Sphere 2 ecosystem are suspended on the sides of the displays. Meanwhile, Dassault integrated an automated digital flight control system into the aircraft, many components for which were originally created for the Rafale fighter, Dassault's combat brainchild. It promises a bunch of interesting features and very advanced automation. So advanced that they are now testing a scheme for controlling all engines with one thrust lever, like on a fighter, and not 2 or 3 as everyone is used to. These are just tests now, but as time goes on they will likely come to the 8X and will even be more widely used on the latest machines like the 10X. I wouldn't do any aerobatic maneuvers on the Falcon, but in terms of piloting it has retained its status of one of the coolest. Military features are not limited to this. Some of Rafale's solutions migrated to the Falcon Eye combined vision system, which significantly improves visibility and creates synthetic vision, 3D visualization of the environment, visible on screens and head-up displays. This allows pilots to see their surroundings, such as mountains, and land the plane in virtually any weather conditions, even in dense fog, when nothing at all is visible in front of the plane. Hidden in the nose is the IntuView RDR4000. Sounds like the name of a dream gaming computer. It's a radar from Honeywell that can create 3D weather maps at a distance of up to 60 miles, a bonus to safety and storm avoidance. In principle, it was made for commercial airliners, but business aviation could not resist the temptation. Now, in 2024, the cost of the new Falcon 8X is already hovering around $58 million. Expensive, although in the class it is in general not that much. The aircraft, while having the top performance in the class, are still smaller, lighter, and cheaper than competitors, which allows them to feel good in the market and enjoy the love of the clients. To date, more than 290 Model 7X aircraft and approximately 100 Model 8X aircraft have been delivered. and they scattered all over the world, mainly in Europe and North America, but other regions also see them quite often. They are adored by corporate, government, and military organizations. Jets carry bosses everywhere, from Australia to Nigeria. Of course, their homeland loves them the most. The jets carry the French leadership, operating under the names COTAM, Unité, and DU. Officially. Unofficially, there are nicknames. For example, during the presidency of Nicolas Sarkozy, the plane was called Carla 1, after the First Lady, Carla Bruni, while the main A330 was called Air Sarko 1. The military is also not far behind. Based on the 8X model, it is planned to implement the Falcon Archange project, an aircraft for electronic reconnaissance and electronic warfare. This work is being carried out slowly. 3 aircraft have been ordered, and they will be delivered only by 2028, replacing the Transcel C-160G Gabriel, flying since the early 1990s. It's time for Grams to retire. It can already be said that the Falcon 7X and then the 8X have become quite worthy successors to the Falcon 900. They are efficient and comfortable, which gives Dassault a guarantee of staying in the market against even the most advanced competitors, and the opportunity to develop their line further. I will note here that the future flagship Falcon 10X is a twin jet, and apparently there will be more such aircraft. What can I say? Progress continues, and who knows, perhaps the 8X is the final song in the history of Dassault trijets, and maybe trijets in general. Although, given the service life of each model, I wouldn't think a couple of decades ahead. This concludes the Trijets epic for now. Don't miss the continuation of aviation stories in other videos. And if you want to watch the videos early, see some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, or just support the channel, consider joining our Patreon community. Luxurious flights and soft landings to you.